The Super Speedway Podcast is a Dream Bigger media production. For news, photos, show notes, and information about advertising on the podcast, visit www.thesuperspeedway.com.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 176 of the Super Speedway Podcast, recorded Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, you surprised I got the day right?
Yeah, I was worried. For a second. We planned to go yesterday. Crazy stuff going on, families and whatnot, and then we're getting her in tonight. So yeah, I was a little concerned, but you know what? You're driving.
Hey,
so.
I changed the prompter before the episode started. So
Listen, it wouldn't be a Super Speedway podcast if there wasn't shaky questioning things and being concerned about things and saying the wrong thing. We're really good at that.
right.
Yeah, like last week, I totally I had the stat that I did not research. I mean, I researched it just a tick, but the champion's not winning races the year after and left Dale Earnhardt off the list.
Yeah, I did notice that because I think it was on Positive Regression, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was on Paz Reg or not. I did see it on Facebook.
I think Paz Reg mentioned it too.
And I think Parsons was the other one. So yeah, we've I thought I was being cool and smart and forgot Dale Earnhardt.
Well, at least you had the right winner for the Xfinity race, unlike me. So
yeah, that was good. That's when you broke my brain.
yeah, so it was my fault.
Yeah, that's it.
I need to go back and listen to that podcast now and see when the discussion about the championship came up. Because
I blew it first.
I was gonna say
you can actually, when I listened back to that, because I was laughing after we finished recording, and you can actually physically feel my brain completely what happened?
I didn't listen to it again because I love cringy stuff. Like I watch TikTok, but I didn't want to cringe through my own thing. So
it's so good. I love. You know what though? Kudos to you for not editing out the most ridiculous stuff.
Hey man,
more authentic that way.
Really what it comes down to, James, is I'm just lazy. If I have to edit it, then I have to do more work, and so I'd rather look stupid than do more work. That's all it is.
What if the head of Spotify was searching for a NASCAR podcast to add to their network, and that's the one they were like, "Ooh, what's the Super Speedway podcast? We could give these guys, 6 figures to do NASCAR podcast on Spotify." And he listened to that one, and that was it. He was like, "Nah, I'm moving on to the next one."
Dude, I'm sure we've been shut down already. I mean, we got to be blacklisted everywhere. So
we're flagged. Oh no, yeah, we're flagged.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do this right now with a cough drop in my mouth. So I'm trying not to cough. Still got the Rona, not really, but still dealing with this stupid whatever the heck it is, allergies, cold, whatever. So if I sound funny or if I cough in the microphone, I say I'm sorry, guys. It's just what you got this week. So. With that,
as it comes, boys and girls.
Yeah, exactly. With that, we had the Halloween. Wow,
Halloween.
It's going bad already. The Hollywood Casino 400 at Kansas Speedway this weekend. Joey Logano holds off Kevin Harvick for 44 laps or something at the end.
Yeah, man.
To get the win, Harvick finishes second. Logano locks himself into the Final Four. First driver in the Final Four, James. And making probably Denny Hamlin a little more nervous than he was before, right?
Definitely Denny Hamlin's nervous. Chase Elliott's nervous.
Oh, yeah, for sure, those guys. But, Hamlin you kind of thought was locked in. I mean, we talked about Hamlin being pretty locked in, but...
Yeah, we had a whole thing on, this playoffs makes it too easy for some of these guys. But Denny hit the wall. He had issues. And, look... That's one of the beautiful things about this playoff is, Denny's earned himself a buffer, but that buffer's gone. It's gone. He's got 20 points to the good, but Eric, as you know, that's 2 stages. Brad Keselowski goes out and dominates Texas and wins all the stages. He's in Hamlin's spot here. So I like it. I like that there's a little bit of an intrigue here. I still feel good about Hamlin and Harvick. Harvick's still looking good. But, yeah, I love Joey did it again, man. Joey did it again.
Do you think it would be a bigger upset if Hamlin doesn't make the Final Four than it was that Hamlin didn't really even have a shot at the title last year in the Final Four?
Yeah. I think these drivers and I think these teams have come to an understanding. We've been in this playoff system for what, Eric? Now this is the seventh year of it since 2014.
Right.
This will be the 7th one. I think these teams have come to the understanding that you're going to get to the final race. You got to get to the final race to give yourself a chance, and whatever happens, happens. We're in a whole new era, and I think Hamlin at least making the show. I think it would suck to lose, right?
Right.
Harvick, the same thing, suck to lose, but at least get to the show, give yourself a chance, and I think you've got some sort of a, I think you've got some sort of a solace in that thinking. I don't know. I mean that's just my point of view on it, but this is Harvick's year, Hamlin's year. I mean, those are the two guys. So if either of them don't win the championship, somebody's getting disappointed no matter what.
Right, exactly, for sure. So let's talk about the aero package a little bit. James, I'm kind of curious of your take on what we saw. There was a lot of positive feelings. Okay, there were some positive feelings on social media, and there was a lot of negative about what the aero package created here with this finish. And I'll go as far to say that the aero package created the finish that we had on Sunday at Kansas. So are we happy with it? Or, I mean, we know we both hate the aero package at this point.
Yeah,
but was this better or okay or not? Or what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I know, listen, Jeff Gluck's poll went out and came back 40%.
That was terrible.
Fans were mad. They're always mad.
Yeah, but that has more to do with the 22 in the front than it does with the actual
That's part
race.
of it. Yeah, that's at least 10% of that poll, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But here, here's the thing. It's all about the clean air, Eric. And Joey got the clean air. His team got him off on pit road, got him to the lead, got him out front, and he held him off. Simple as that. He had the clean air, and Kevin Harvick couldn't get to him, couldn't make it happen.
Here's my argument on this thing is I get it that, the aero package played a big role. Joey was able to block to hold him off. And Harvick definitely had the faster car. But let's put somebody else in that spot. Let me look at the list here. Let's take Cole Custer in 14th, Austin Dillon 11th. Heck, even Martin Truex in 9th, and stick them in Joey's position on that last restart. Do you think they're holding Harvick off? Because I don't think they are.
Joey's one of the more talented guys in the sport. He's
right.
He's gonna be able to do that.
He's a good driver. It still had to do with skill that he was able to do what he did.
Right, and I know fans say, well, the faster car should be able to get around him, but
no, it shouldn't. The fastest car shouldn't always win. This isn't drag racing.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that's what people are screaming about. And listen, we don't like this aero package. We've said our piece on it a million times here.
Right.
But you know what? This was a pretty good duel between these two guys. And Joey Logano, Eric, you said it. Joey Logano can drive. He's a champion in this sport and got a good chance to win a second. Kevin Harvick also, Eric, I think part of it too, I think a little bit that we need to consider, Kevin Harvick has got no pressure to go out and wreck his race car. He can get close and try to make moves, but he doesn't need to put the bumper to Joey Logano. He's got so many points in the bank that he can just kind of wait for an opportunity, and if it doesn't happen for him, I know he wants to win these races. God, I mean, he's a race car driver. Of course he wants to win the race.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Harvick left anything out there. I mean, I think he put 100% into that.
Yeah, but I think, there's a little bit of that desperation. There's no desperation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? There's no desperation. So there's a tick of the edge that's not quite right.
Right.
But again, what do fans want? Harvick to just be able to blow by him and win the race by half a lap. I mean, that's
what I was going to say. Is the margin of victory in this race was 0.312 seconds.
Good finish.
Now
Great race.
I realize we didn't have a lead change for the last. Let's see, the last. If I can read the stats here, the 17th lead change was on 223. So Joey took the lead on lap 223, led to 267. 45 laps in the lead. So the last 45 laps of the race, we did not have a lead change. That being said, 0.312 seconds, if Harvick would have passed Joey Logano, like you said, it would have been a half a track lead.
Yeah, he would have dominated. He would have won the race by 7 or 8 seconds.
Yep.
Easy. Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, the aero package sucks. Yes, I would rather see these guys. I mean, it's not so much the car stuck to the track that bothers me. It's the fact that they're wide open. You know,
you can't do anything with them.
but I'll tell you what, NBC, I've given NBC some criticism this year for their coverage. I'm so happy to see those guys back at the track, by the way. But they did an amazing job at the end of this race. Of those 45 laps, we watched probably 30 to 35 of them on board with Kevin Harvick. I mean, it was just great seeing. You could see everything he was doing. You could see the car slide. You could hear the throttle. Everything. You could tell he was trying to get past them, and
it was crazy to see. Eric, you brought up a great point there because with 2 laps to go, Harvick slipped up, and lost a ton of ground. But to see how much faster his car was, he gobbled him back up in half a lap, and was within a shot again. That he couldn't get it done, obviously, but it was just crazy to see that he's that much faster. But the air, the disturbed dirty air, creates such turbulence that he couldn't do anything with it.
This is where NASCAR fans drive me crazy because we bitch about Bristol
because
you're
taking my spot. You're taking my my hot take.
Right,
Go
but
for it, man.
we bitch about Bristol because it's too easy to pass on now, and what made Bristol great was that it was tough to pass. But it's tough to pass here, and we're bitching because we can't pass. I mean, make up your freaking mind. Now listen, aero push is a thing. Dirty air is a thing. You're never going to get rid of it. There is no way ever. Every single racing series in the world has tried to get rid of dirty air. You can't. So let's make the cars less aerodynamic. Let's make them punch a bigger hole. Guess what? That makes the dirty air even worse. So let's make them more aerodynamic. Well, that doesn't work either because now the tiniest little bit of air change screws up the guy in second.
Yep.
You're never going to fix this. We know too much about this now. This is what we have.
Yeah, it's like everything else in sports. That's how we have the evolution of baseball and the evolution of we're seeing it in football now with positionless defenders.
I want to see throttle control back.
That's the thing.
I would like to see cars slide around more. I still maintain that the Xfinity Series package is the absolute best package right now for a number of reasons. One is the fact that it's low downforce and they still have throttle response. Another is because, purists all you want. It's the fact that they have composite bodies and you can brush the wall without flattening a tire every single time you even sneeze at the wall. There's reasons that Xfinity package is the best package right now. And, I think when we get the new car, I have a feeling we're going to go to composite bodies too. So that will probably help in the Cup Series quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're getting the motor back, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, you nailed it, Eric. I mean, these cars they're flat out. So Kevin Harvick can have the faster car, but he's got no extra pedal.
Yep.
To go and make a move, or and Joey Logano, he's got no room for error. He just because he's on a Sunday cruise, he's just driving. He's on cruise control.
Right.
And that it's tough to do anything with that when you're trying to have a battle for the lead. I mean, it's great that the faster car is stuck behind Joey, but again, there's no room to do anything with it. So
I mean, was this a great race? No. Was it a 40% race? No, it was also not a 40% race. Was it the best race of the weekend? No, I would say it was probably the worst race of the weekend at Kansas. Sure. It was still a decent race. It was entertaining. Hell, I was glued to the TV the last 45 laps.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I like a little bit of chaos, and Joey Logano winning that race shook it up a little bit. Which is fantastic.
That's all you can wish for right now is for guys outside of that bottom four or the top four to win.
Yeah.
Because it makes the top four, worried.
Yeah.
And Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott right now is the one that's lost the most. He's 8 points out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what else too, Eric? You were going to Phoenix. Who won Phoenix this year already?
Right. Exactly.
So is Joey Logano potential championship favorite going into Phoenix now?
I don't know that I'd go that far, but he's certainly a major threat.
He's got himself. I mean, he's as good of a threat as Kevin Harvick, I think.
I think he's the biggest threat of the guys that weren't in the top four.
Yeah, I think so.
So
him and if Brad Keselowski finds his way, if let's say Brad wins Texas, we've got ourselves. I mean Eric, that could lead to a very good championship race.
It could.
We got some potential here for a really good championship race. We've got a rules package that you and I like, and I think most fans like.
Well, I mean, honestly, James, look at what we've got here. With the top 8 guys we've got. Joey Logano just won the last race at Phoenix. Kevin Harvick, great at Phoenix. Denny Hamlin, great at Phoenix. Keselowski has won everything on in that package.
This package, yeah.
Chase Elliott, great at Phoenix. Alex Bowman, I don't really
He's
have.
good at Phoenix.
He's good at
good
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr. good at Phoenix. Kurt Busch, Kurt's good anywhere. He has a chance. No matter who gets in these Final Four, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and you know what too, Eric, is you're giving Joey Logano a nice little 3 weeks to get that car. That team's gonna have that. I mean, all they have to do is focus on Phoenix. They're locked in. Who cares what happens at Texas and Martinsville? You're good to go, buddy. I like that.
The only thing
I like that for them.
The only thing I'll say is that they're not adding anything to that car between now and Phoenix. That's the Phoenix car.
They've got their piece. Yeah,
the only track that has anything to do with Phoenix whatsoever is Martinsville, because it's the same package, but they're not going to make changes from Martinsville to Phoenix. So they've already been working on that car. But like you said, he has no pressure going into the most high pressure race of the season. So
yeah, the pressure's on the shop now. It's on the guys. Get that piece ready and let it all hang out when you get there.
Yep. So we mentioned Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott had some radio issues during the race. Very much could not hear his spotter and or crew chief. There were all kinds of problems. TV documented it, I think, pretty well. And NASCAR missed it, James. And afterwards, they kind of answered with, oops.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Not a very big story when you're looking at the whole weekend as combined. I haven't seen a whole lot of this.
No, and why? Because this is a rule.
Here's a secret: it's Chase Elliott, and the fans are okay with it.
I know why it is. Yeah, I'm well aware. I think that plays into why the decision was made not to penalize him as well. So the rule specifically says that you have to be in communication with your spotter. The reason for this dates back to, I don't remember what year, but it was at Texas or Charlotte. I can't remember now, but it was an ARCA race or ARCA practice, and Eric Martin crashed coming out of turn 4. And if you've watched this video, first of all, it's just awful. So don't watch it. But there is probably 15 seconds before the next car comes around the corner and broadsides him, and Martin died in the accident. And immediately NASCAR said, you're not going to be on the track anymore without spotters. And so, I mean, this is a safety issue, and NASCAR's so worried about safety. NASCAR won't let us race below the yellow line on super speedways because they're worried about safety. But they let this guy compete in a 400-mile race with no communication with a spotter. I mean, I get it. It's championship. You don't want to black flag a guy running for the championship. But this is no different than a flat tire. It's no different than a mechanical issue with the car. Kurt Busch blew his motor. It's no different than anything like that. This is a mechanical issue. This is an electrical issue with the car. Park him, make him fix it.
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing really to add to that. It's like...
if NASCAR didn't know what was going on, James, they really, really screwed the pooch on this one, because all you need is one person somewhere watching the TV broadcast, because TV knew what was going on.
Yep. I understand NASCAR doesn't want to take him out, like you said, but we have this emphasis on safety and all these other things. He should be. I really have nothing to add to your take, man. I think you nailed it. He needed to be parked. He needed to have it fixed.
And I got nothing against Chase. I don't want to see Chase black flagged. I want to see Chase in the Final Four.
Yeah, it's a dumb issue. It's a dumb way to lose a shot at the championship, but so is blowing a motor. I can see both sides of it, but there is that aspect that you've brought up that is a really good point.
Yeah. Speaking of blowing a motor, I mentioned Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
Kurt Busch blows up, ends up finishing 38th. He's 73 points out now.
Did you see Cole Pern's tweet? He said that, boy, Chip Ganassi Racing sure does blow a lot of motors this time of the year. Wink, wink.
Nice.
I was like, whoa, what's going on there? Is that a shot at the engine maker, or what's going on there?
That's rough.
Remember, Kyle Larson had this happen.
Yep.
In Kansas, I think. Kansas or Texas. Remember, it took him out of the championship hunt a couple years back. So, yeah, good point by Cole Pern. That's kind of a wink-wink. I thought that was good.
What do you think of, this is just throwing something, I heard this on Sirius, I think. What would you think of JGR calling up Cole Pern and saying, come back 1 year?
Kyle Busch?
Yeah,
I heard that. I did hear that little rumble going on.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Why? I wonder what that paycheck would look like.
Somebody said that the reason Cole left is because he didn't like the new car. Well, you don't got to do the new car.
Yeah, next year you got one more year of the car you currently have.
Yep.
I can't see him working with anybody but Truex, but yeah, Kyle Busch looks like him and Adam Stevens are heading to divorce.
Oh yeah,
so,
they're not going to be together next year. There's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way you leave that team intact after the last 2 seasons. I mean, they
Eric,
won a
Ad-
championship last year, but
Yeah.
that was one race.
Eric, Adam Stevens has Kyle Busch as his driver, and he's won one race since June of 2019.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the biggest race, but one win, and it's going to be, over a year and a half.
Yep. Yeah, you can't.
Long time.
This
Kyle
is
Busch as your driver.
This is arguably one of the top 3 teams in the series. You can't leave it the way it is. It's got to change.
Yeah, with the generational talent of his era.
If
in the prime of his career, by the way.
If Jimmy Johnson doing what he did gets Chad Knaus moved to a different team, this gets Adam Stevens moved to a different team,
Yeah, Adam Stevens.
And I'm not saying
reassigned.
Nobody's saying it's Adam Stevens' fault. Nobody's saying it's Kyle's fault. It's just it's time for a change.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of success together. It's just sometimes the well runs dry, And I don't want to hear Kyle Busch talking about practice and all that other stuff.
No, that's over at this point.
You had plenty of practice last year, bud.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they ran like this last year, so.
Yeah, I mean they somehow made it to the Final Four at Homestead last year and had the car to beat. So.
Well, and the thing is if that's your excuse, that you get rid of the excuse because guess what? You're going to do it again next year.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
You're not getting practice next year, so let's just.
Yeah, you better figure it out. Yeah, Cole Pern coming back to JGR would be something.
It would be.
Would be something.
I don't think he's coming back, but it'd be interesting.
No, I don't think so. I mean, hey, if the price is right, I guess. But
yeah, money talks, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I'll crew chief him.
There you go.
I'll do it for a lot cheaper than Cole Pern.
Right, me too. Me too. I just want the credential and the travel. I'm there.
Yeah. Eric, before we move off from the Cup Series, I did want to mention one more thing about Joey Logano. This was his 26th career Cup Series victory. Do you know who he's tied with on that list?
I feel like you're gonna say it, and I'm gonna go, "Oh yeah," but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Nice, interesting.
Yeah, yep.
Good one.
About to pass old Junebug. Knock him down to 32nd on the list.
I think Junior won more races than I think we realized that Junior won.
26 races is a lot.
Yeah,
that's
a pretty good number.
Yeah, Truex is at 30th on the all-time list at 27, and that's 27 races over the last handful of years. He's won 25 races, I think, since 2016 or something like that.
Right.
He's won a lot. But yeah, Carl Edwards is right there, 20. I love looking at the how I love the historical stats. So
this is that area where there's a lot of really good drivers in that range because it's really hard to win more than that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of drivers that are way under that too,
Yeah, I mean, there's some really good drivers right here. I mean, you're talking in this, if you go up to 32, you're talking Kurt Busch, Dale Jarrett, Carl Edwards, Rex White, Fred Lorenzen's in this, Ricky Rudd, Joe Weatherly, Terry Labonte, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Burton. I mean, these are the guys we're talking about in this area.
Right.
Lots of Hall of Famers and Terry Labonte, Hall of Famer. Dale Jr. Hall of Famer, Dale Jarrett, Fireball Roberts. I mean, all Hall of Famers, right lumped together in this list. You've got Matt Kenseth right there. So yeah, just pretty cool. He's tied Dale Jr. I know Joey catches a lot of crap from NASCAR fans. He's not one of the most popular guys in the world, but he's a champion. He's got a Daytona 500 under the belt, and he's continuing his march. It's been a kind of a rough COVID return for Joey, but
yeah.
He's got a chance to, add to his trophy case here with a title. So.
I mean, they've been there. They haven't run great, but they haven't run bad.
Good season. I mean, decent season, but yeah, he just didn't have the wins to back it up. So yeah, I mean, if he goes out and wins this championship, he's going to be a 2-time He's going to be tied with Kyle Busch for championships.
Well, and that's the interesting thing to look at with this too, James. We didn't talk about it last week when we were going into the round of 8. But we're down to there's only 2 drivers in the list in our 8 drivers right now that haven't won a title.
Right.
We're pretty sure we're going to get a repeat title winner this year.
Yeah, we're going to get a repeat title winner. Yep.
I mean, Bowman or Elliott could sneak in there, but right now it's looking pretty likely. I mean, obviously the percentage is stacked against them.
Yeah.
So
there's I saw a photo of everybody who's ever raced in the Final Four from 2014, and it's a list of 10 total drivers that have ever raced for the championship in this format.
That's interesting.
So you've got Harvick, Logano, Hamlin, Keselowski, Truex. They've all raced for the championship in this format. So you got 3 guys who haven't yet, but you know,
Right.
it's we're looking at another 2-time champion here at some point.
Couple other points from the race on Sunday. Just want to look kind of at finishes. Alex Bowman, we mentioned, still strong. Finishes 3rd place in this one. He was coming at the
It's a
end.
good race for him. Yep.
Yeah, gaining on Harvick at the end of the race. Didn't lead any laps on the day, but ran well. Let's see. 10th place, Christopher Bell gets himself a top 10. Austin Dillon continues his good runs. 11th place finish for Austin. Matt DiBenedetto bounces back this week with his announcement and finishes 12th.
Yep.
We mentioned in the back, Kurt Busch finishing 38th. Matt Kenseth finishes last. One of the few accidents on the day. I think the only accident on the day.
The only one that I can recall that brought the caution.
I guess Jimmy got in the wall too, but that was no caution with that. Jimmy and Reddick, I think, wasn't it? Didn't Reddick get in the wall?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Anything else really jump out at you, James, with this list?
Nope. I think you've got your championship contenders all clustered together there in the top 4, and Chase Elliott right there behind him. So
aside from the battle at the end, it was a pretty quiet race. Not real eventful. We had 6 cautions for 31 laps. Certainly different from the Xfinity race the day before.
Yeah.
Where we had 10 cautions. I
think if you're Denny Hamlin, you've got to be flustered a little bit because you finished 3rd in stage 1, you won stage 2, and he left 15 valuable points on the board right here. So he was good. He had a good car. I mean, he was my pick to win, and he looked pretty strong. It wasn't quite Kevin Harvick. Kevin was definitely the best, but
oh yeah, definitely.
That's why you race the race, bud.
Yep. Harvick led 85 laps on the day. Chase Elliott led 48. Denny Hamlin led 58, and Joey Logano led 47. So pretty much the end of the race.
Nice. Not bad.
All right. Quick mention on the Xfinity race. Man, what a wreck with Anthony Alfredo. Going into turn 1. Gets turned in the outside wall by, it was all caused by Justin Allgaier running down. I don't know where the hell Allgaier was going.
He was making moves.
Yeah, something like that. And turned the 21 up across the track and put him in the wall, and upside down goes Alfredo. Just goes to show you don't have to be at full speed to wreck one of these things pretty spectacularly, because they were not even probably out of 3rd gear yet at this point. So
good
to see Alfredo was okay.
Add it to the list of crazy Kansas wrecks.
Yeah, I mean this track, I'll tell you.
Yeah, they always hit hard here. I don't know if it's just the layout of the track or the way it is, but yeah, there's always crazy crashes at Kansas. Big crashes, hard.
Yeah. I just want to give a big black flag to Scott Miller from NASCAR for using that accident as an example of why we need the yellow line rule at super speedways.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah, that's the example he says on why we need the yellow line rule, because they'll race down there. But my argument is then why is the yellow line rule not at Kansas? Because obviously we need it there too. Yeah, so you're either happy with the wrecks or you're not happy with the wrecks. So fix it one direction or the other. That being said, I don't want them to add a yellow line rule on a 1.5-mile track. So please don't do that.
Please. Yeah, I know. It just is a nonsensical statement that he made.
Just dumb. Dumb. You can't even argue like at Talladega they're going faster. We don't want a car to get upside down. It got upside down. I know. The only thing it didn't do was go airborne, but whatever.
It's kind of a knucklehead statement. I don't agree with any of it. So
I've liked it a lot better when Steve O'Donnell was on Sirius more than Mr. Miller. I don't know.
Yeah, Steve and I we have our bouts, but
Steve at least is a straight shooter to me for the most part.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And Steve is self-deprecating enough to understand the situation too. So
right.
Yeah, Scott, that was just kind of like out of left field.
Come on,
weird.
Man. Come on, man.
Weird. Yeah, it was weird.
Playoff points, we kind of already talked about it. Logano, Harvick, Hamlin, Keselowski are still in. Chase Elliott's 8 points out. Bowman 27 out. Martin Truex Jr. 31 out. And Kurt Busch, it doesn't matter. He needs to win. So.
Yep, Kurt Busch has to win. I would say he's the only one pretty much in a win or die situation right now.
Yeah, if Bowman and Truex are back that far once we get to Martinsville, then they're in
Yeah.
the danger zone too. But
Truex is going to be a problem at Martinsville regardless, so we got to be ready for that situation.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yep. All right, let's talk some news, James. We got some news this week. We by waiting the extra day, we got a little bit more news today. So
Yeah, I know. We faked it out.
yeah. First off, Dale Jr. has a baby. Congratulations, Dale Jr.
The baby.
and Amy Earnhardt. By the way, I guess we
Yeah,
probably should give her some
Dale,
credit.
Dale didn't really do any of the heavy lifting on this one.
Nah,
so
he pretty much did the fun part, and that's about it.
yeah.
So,
That's right. That's
uh,
usually how it goes.
Nicole Lorraine was born
Great
on Monday.
name. Yeah, great name.
Yep, good one. Dale Jr. download. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but it was all about that pretty much last week. So
Yep.
pretty cool. Kyle Larson applies to be reinstated in NASCAR, James. And then since that announcement, NASCAR has announced that Kyle Larson has been reinstated in NASCAR. Well, as of January 1st, 2021. He does have to do some stuff, continue doing some stuff for that reinstatement. Includes several speaking engagements, each spaced out through 2023. Where Larson will share his experience with NASCAR's weekly series, esports, and dirt racing communities. He will also be required to take further training and engagement classes through 2023, plus continue his work with the Urban Youth Racing School and Rev Racing, providing coaching and mentorship for those initiatives. And Chevy fully supports NASCAR's efforts to provide an inclusive environment for all race fans.
Oh,
Since
man.
Kyle Larson has met the criteria set forth for his return to the series, we support NASCAR's decision.
Jeez, oh Pete, just get it over with.
I mean, the thing is all the dominoes have fallen now except for this domino.
It's been falling for So wait, does Hendrick Motorsports have to wait until January 1st to finally make the announcement, or can we just get this thing over with?
I don't know. I mean, everybody's talking about it that it's done. I mean,
it is done.
Exactly.
It's done. He's driving a fourth Hendrick car, whatever number TBD.
Yeah.
It's done. Kyle Larson, Hendrick Motorsports, done. Pick a number.
57.
I think I like 57.
It's gonna be 57. It's Larson's number. They've run that number in the Xfinity series at least.
My God, Kyle Larson's been on the media circuit, doing his thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's frustrating me about this whole thing is, I think Larson's done his time. I think he's demonstrated enough that he's learned his lesson. He's paid the price. He deserves to come back. Let's stop this pomp and circumstance and this pony show and just freaking put him in the car, for God's sakes.
I know.
It's so annoying.
I know. And I don't want to be the white guy that says, Kyle Larson has served his time, so he should be back.
That's true. Yeah.
Driving the race car. Listen, NASCAR says, okay, you've done enough. Heck, Bubba Wallace is all for this.
Exactly.
He's been out there, and he is, if we're going to look for somebody to kind of be the leader on these types of issues, he's our guy. So,
hey, Bubba's taking it on his shoulders, so I trust his opinion.
Yeah, Hendrick Motorsports has got, I mean, this is a hell of a bargain.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's no need for Hendrick to look for another driver for what, 10 years?
They're locked up, yeah. I mean, unless Bowman or Byron don't work out for some reason, they are locked in. I mean,
any reason for those two to go anywhere?
Yeah, they've got two legit superstars in the sport, and Byron, who's like, I feel like he's ready to burst. At some point, he's going to.
Let me argue this:
Bowman's solid.
Alex Bowman's in the '88 car, and he has earned
48 next year, by the way.
But he's earned his ride in that car. In that he's
solid.
He's done more than Dale Jr. was doing. I mean,
yeah, he did.
That turned out to be an upgrade for Hendrick in the long run. I mean, nothing against Jr., but
and Eric, he's going to be an upgrade over Jimmy Johnson.
That's true.
When he replaces him.
Yeah, that's true.
The greatest driver of all time. So, and here you go. Kyle Larson will be an upgrade over Alex Bowman in that seat.
Yeah,
so Hendrick is upgrade. They have upgraded across the board, and they get Kyle Larson at a massive discount.
Oh yeah.
When he joins this team, because he's not getting paid what he was.
Guaranteed. Yep.
I don't know what else to say about it. He's here.
Well, I feel like our news this week is a lot of
it's a lot of right? Is that where?
Yeah, I was gonna say NSS, no you know what, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Basically. So the next news item is one of those things. Hey, guess what, James? You're going to be shocked at this. Bubba Wallace's car number is probably going to be 23 next year.
No. I
Yeah.
wonder why.
Right. It has nothing to do, I'm sure, with Michael Jordan owning the team. So
I like the team name though. 2311 Racing is got a nice little ring to it.
yeah, it's cool.
I like the Roman numerals for the 11, which is another tie-in to Jordan. So, yeah, I love that. Yeah. So Bubba Wallace 23 car. Wow.
Yep. There we go. Eric Jones. This is the news we had yesterday. It was suspected. Now today it was announced that he will be racing the 43 car for RPM next year. He signed a multi-year contract to drive the 43 Chevrolet. Jordan Bianchi has a really nice article on The Athletic, which details the whole situation. Bianchi reports there that Jones has an option in his contract to opt out after the first year.
God.
Yeah.
The first thing I tweeted when I saw it was a multi-year deal, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
But I have hope that I have some hope now that that he can opt out with a year. And the reason being, Eric, is honestly, we want the 43 car to survive in this sport, and it needs to have a decent driver in it. But this driver is overqualified for that seat, in my opinion. So I want this to be more of a stopgap to get him into the next ride that launches him into the championship contender. I think he's destined to be, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe, Petty's got some additional sponsorship that came through the Bubba Wallace deal that's going to stick around. They've got some stuff to announce. They don't have the full season covered yet.
Yep.
But, Jones is a good driver, a change of scenery. Petty was definitely on the upswing this year, a lot in part to the money that Bubba brought to the team this year. Who knows, man? Maybe this is what Richard Petty Motorsports needs to put them back in line with some of these other teams and be a competitor. We're going to a new car after next year. Maybe that puts them on more even ground. Maybe I think, we talked before we recorded this that I think both, Bubba upgraded with his deal and RPM upgraded with their deal. So,
yeah,
I mean,
this is the best driver they may have in the entirety of their run. Or he could be he could be the Kurt Busch to Furniture Row.
Yeah.
He could be, I'm trying to think of some other good examples, but remember when Kurt Busch went to Furniture Row? They were contending. He didn't win any races, but all of a sudden everybody was like, "Holy cow, Furniture Row!"
Yep.
And then they got Martin Truex Jr. and we know the rest from there. So, hopefully the 43 survives. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Jones turn this team around, be the last thing they need, and I want to see Richard Petty Motorsports competitive.
Nothing would make me more happy than to have Eric Jones go out there and stick it to Joe Gibbs Racing and everybody else that gave up on him. Toyota too.
I'll tell you what, there are 4 races next year that, as good as Bubba was at Super Speedway Racing, they just upgraded those 4 races because Jones is one of the best.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh man, I'm excited for some opportunity for Jones here. I just, I hope. I don't know. I don't know where he could go from here. It's not like he's going to go back to Gibbs. Unless somebody retires, maybe. I don't know. But
a lot of teams a lot of drivers have 1-year contracts for next year. So
I know a lot of movement. I think next year's silly season is going to be out of control.
I think so too.
But yeah, no, I think you're right, Eric. This is an upgrade for everybody involved, except for Eric Jones. He's the only one who doesn't really upgrade here. But
but he gets a change of scenery too. So I think he needs it.
He's young. I mean, this is a really good. Eric, sometimes a little kick in the pants, a little adversity can be good for somebody who may not have ever had. I mean, Eric Jones has been in the best stuff ever since he's been in the sport.
Well, and the guy has won in every level of NASCAR. He's also
a champion.
Yeah, he's a champion. So, I mean, at least he's still in the series, man. That's good. And he's not in a back marker team. He's in a mid-pack team. So hopefully he can do something with it, and hopefully they can see some improvement. And
man, get him back up there.
Like I said, 4 chances a year that he's got an equal chance of everybody else at least.
And heck, and who knows, Eric, if he does come back for a second year with that new car, and the playing if it is a more level playing field, I mean, this might set the 43 team up here. So
it could.
Yeah, great for RPM, great for them.
Another one of those no crap moments. Chase Briscoe announced as the driver of the 14 car next season in the Cup Series. This is the one that to
This is
me
my favorite.
seals the Larson deal because this was the only other place that Larson could potentially be going.
Yeah.
And with this, we know that he's not going there. So Chase Briscoe gets the ride in the Cup Series. I think it's good for him. I think this is good for everybody involved. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts on it first, James, before I get into the Tony Stewart
Yeah,
comment.
I love this. I like Chase Briscoe. Everybody knows I am a Tony Stewart fan. This is excited of a driver as Tony has brought in for his team. I mean, there's nothing left for him in the Xfinity Series. He's done
No,
it
there's
all.
not.
I mean, go win the championship. But even that, Xfinity championships, they are what they are.
Yeah, especially with
Um,
this format.
Yeah, so I mean, he's made the final four, and bad luck, good luck, whatever. He's done his job. 9 wins, like he said, he needed to win 8 or more races, and damn, man, he went and did it and put on a dominating show. We haven't seen, I don't think we've seen an Xfinity Series full-time guy put on a clinic like he has in quite a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive. And there was a lot of talk on Sirius this week about comparing Briscoe, because this ride, a lot of people thought Larson was going to this ride. Briscoe gets this ride instead, and a lot of people are like, well, Tony's, friends with Kyle, and Kyle's got the sprint car background. Hey, everybody, these guys are the same guy. Chase Briscoe's got the dirt background. He's buddies with Tony Stewart. He's got the sprint car stuff. It's the same person. They're putting the same guy in the car.
Yeah, and I'm sure Tony Stewart and that team kicked the tires on Larson to see what was going on there. But you know what else plays a role here is Ford.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ford development, and they've got a ton of cash into Chase Briscoe, and his development across a number of series.
If it wasn't for Ford, Chase Briscoe wouldn't be in NASCAR right now.
No, but man, he took advantage of that spot.
Yeah,
I mean,
he did.
just.
I'm not taking anything away from Chase Briscoe. He's excellent.
I just want to. I'm trying to emphasize how I know people are probably maybe disappointed that they didn't sign Larson, but I think this is the next best guy besides. I mean, Eric. Yeah, it would have been nice to see Eric Jones but Ford's got an investment in this guy, just like Toyota's got an investment in Chris Bell.
When Brad Keselowski Racing shut down in the Truck Series, that would have likely been pretty close to the end of Chase Briscoe if it wouldn't have been for Ford taking him under their wing. I mean.
Yeah,
didn't he leave NASCAR for a year, basically? He only ran a few NASCAR races 1 year?
Yep. Yeah, he ran that full truck series run in 2017. And then 2018 it was patchwork for him.
Yep.
I'm looking at it right now. His 2018 he was running. He only ran 17 races in 2018 in Xfinity, so that's a part-time schedule, and that was the patchwork between Jack Roush and Stuart Haas. Like he was running. I mean, Ford was just trying to find him a spot.
Yep.
Before he went full time with Stuart Haas. But yeah, he's done everything he said he was going to do. I mean, it's just, I think it's a great hire. A young superstar, possibly in the making. I don't know where he ranks. I'd like to see David Smith's take on this as far as what the numbers say on him. Is he a Chase Elliott equivalent type of guy? Where do we rank him? He didn't come along kind of like when Eric Jones came along, we could see it, right? William Byron, we could see it. This is more of a workman type effort.
I agree.
For Chase Briscoe, and he's not that young. I mean, he's not that young. He's 25 years old. He's a little bit older than some of these guys. So,
means he's more developed.
He's been more developed. Yeah, he's had plenty of seat time, and he's got to come to Cup. I mean, he's at the end of the development road. It's time to, see what that investment is worth.
Yeah, there's nothing to gain from leaving him in the Xfinity Series another year.
No, it's like Austin Cindric it's the opposite, right? Yeah. Austin Cindric's going to be basically he's wasting a year in Xfinity next year.
Yep.
Not necessarily. But you know what I mean, right? He's good enough to come up. He's got nowhere to go. Yeah. Yep. So,
speaking of the development thing, James's buddy Smoke decided to make a little comment.
Yeah, boy.
In his he was praising Ford, and I'll just read the quote. He says,
he's a company man, right?
Yeah. He says, I think Ford's done an awesome job with their driver development program. There's not a lot of drivers in it, but there's a reason there's not a lot of drivers in it because they put the focus on that small group of race car drivers. versus one of the other OEMs out there that is, in my opinion, ruining other drivers' careers on a daily basis. Just signing mass numbers of drivers. Then at the end of it, they don't have anywhere to go with them. They decide they don't like them, those drivers, and most of them are young drivers, lose opportunities that they could have had along the way to go someplace else.
Yeah.
What's your thought, James?
He's not wrong. Am I blind here? He's
No,
not wrong, right?
He's not wrong, but here's the thing, James. I love Tony Stewart. I love the fact that Tony Stewart's outspoken. I love the fact that you're never going to have an interview with Tony Stewart and go, I wonder what Tony's thinking. That being said, sometimes I wish Tony would just shut the hell up. He has no reason to rip on Toyota. We all know he doesn't like Toyota. So why? Like, okay, so maybe if he'd just signed Jones, then sure. Yeah, rip on Toyota. You just took Jones from Toyota. Toyota kicked him to the curb. You took the guy. But this has nothing to do with Toyota. Nothing. Other than the fact that that's why he left Joe Gibbs Racing, or one of the large reasons.
Right?
I mean, come on. Why?
It's an unnecessary cheap shot, but a truthful cheap shot.
It's Tony, and he's going to take the unnecessary cheap shots.
Here's the thing, though, Eric. What is one thing that Tony Stewart's really good at in his whole career with the media?
Being a loudmouth?
Being a loudmouth. But what does being a loudmouth get you?
Gets you publicity.
It gets you publicity, but it also shines a light on an area that can sometimes get swept under the rug. Right?
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's sweeping it under the rug. I think everybody knows what's going on. But
yeah,
but it's just,
look at how much
Tony Stewart would have had the same effect to go outside and scream to the heavens, "The sky is blue," because we already all know it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Eric. You and I are both in agreement that we're bummed for Eric Jones. Right?
Oh, yeah,
we're ticked
totally,
off.
Totally.
He lost an opportunity, and Chevy with zero development dollars.
Yeah, but here's the
Chevrolet
thing: is
with
I'm
Eric
not
Jones.
blaming Toyota for that. Eric Jones had an opportunity to sign with somebody else. It's not a secret that Toyota's doing what they're doing. These guys are betting on themselves that they're going to be good enough to stay in the ranks, and when they're not, they lose the opportunity. That's not Toyota's fault. That's business.
Yeah.
It's business. The only reason Ford's in this shape is because Ford just doesn't have that many development drivers.
Right.
That's not something to pat yourself on the back for. I mean,
and you know, too, part of it, Eric, is there's not enough competitive seats in the sport either. So you don't. I mean, when you get to Toyota, you've got 4 spots that you can get.
Right.
And Joe Gibbs Racing ain't signing just anybody, right? You know,
Right.
like, you know, Toyota had Haley Deegan in the pipeline, and think what you want about Haley Deegan. They were bringing her along, and you know what happened? Yeah, we don't really think Haley Deegan's got it. We're gonna we're moving on.
Yeah.
Go find your own, you know, own ride. Luckily for her, she's landed at Ford, and I'm sure, you know, there's a path being discussed to how to get her to the Cup Series someday. But
that's a good point too. Since you mentioned Haley Deegan, 16th place finish in the Truck Series race.
Yeah,
on
you're you must have been impressed.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, it was impressive.
A good day.
She wanted a top 15. She missed it by 1 spot. So
she did great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good drive, and she goes full time next year.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I don't think I had that in notes today.
That's okay. That's okay. We covered it.
So anyway, I mean, again, I don't care. I'm not a manufacturer guy. I don't care which manufacturer. I like every manufacturer that's in the Cup Series because they're supporting NASCAR. So good on them. I probably would prefer a Ford over. I mean, I drive a Ford. My wife drives a Ford. I prefer Ford over Toyota. But
your favorite driver is a Toyota driver too. So, Eric, I have a Toyota diecast.
You throw the. Yes, Kyle Busch is my favorite driver in air quotes, but I don't really have truly a favorite driver anymore. I mean, I don't have one guy that I root for. I root for anybody. Usually it's the guy in second place. Hell, if Kyle Busch is running away with the race, I'm usually cheering for the guy in second.
Yeah, but you're still Kyle. You're a Kyle.
Whatever. Whatever. I'd be cheering for anybody in second, whoever's in second place, unless it's Mike Wallace.
Yeah, okay. We don't have to get into that.
Nope, that's as far as I'm going.
Oh, and one last thing on this Tony
Or
Stewart
Jim Utter.
thing. Hey, we've defended Jim Utter before. I don't want to go too far.
Yeah.
That was just the
That's true. That's true. We probably should
lesser of two evils.
probably
right?
should lay off him, huh? We don't want to be like Portnoy.
Yeah. There's a name I didn't want to have brought up on the show.
All right. What's your other thing about Stewart?
One last thing about Tony Stewart. So being a company man, he says what he says. That is another way for him to say, hey, young drivers, you know, consider Ford
Yeah.
a little bit more when you're thinking about coming up the ranks.
Yeah, probably.
Just a thought. I mean, it's just another thought that I had.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with anything you said here. I just, we know what he's doing. I mean, we see what
I
he's doing.
mean, yes, Tony Stewart's got a great team. Yes, he's got the championship favorite right now. But let's look at what he's got. He's got Clint Boyer. He's got Eric Almirola. I mean, who's he got? Compare his roster to the Toyota roster. I mean,
And his roster's got a lot of turbulence since
Yeah.
2016. That team has not had the same drivers,
No.
same driver lineup every year. And his best driver's aging out.
right. Yeah.
But that's why you bring in it. That's why you bring in Chase Briscoe.
Sure.
But Tony Stewart doing this, doesn't that make you miss him at the track every week just a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I
mean, who else does that? Honestly.
Yeah, I miss Tony Stewart. I miss the post race interviews with Tony. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Dale Jr. chuckling because he can't contain himself.
That was the best. That was the best. Tony Stewart running for the championship. I'm so glad I wasn't covering NASCAR at the time.
Oh my God, that 2011. I mean, jeez.
I'd have never had the guts to ask Tony a question. There's no way.
He was in a zone. I can't even describe what it was.
That's why you like him, because he's a grumpy old man just like you.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
All right. Last news item. Bob Pockris tweets that Trackhouse that's Justin Marks' team, will be embedded in RCR and basically will be acting as a third RCR team. Came with from a question that somebody asked about RCR fielding a third car for Ty Dillon. So basically no expectations of a third car, because guess what? They already got one.
Man, Pop's just letting Ty Dillon just hang out there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of can show you that maybe Austin doesn't have a ride just because he's Austin.
Maybe.
Or maybe he's the favorite. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that for Trackhouse, so that's a good deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to get.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. That especially with how RCR is running this year, that just amplifies their program right off the bat.
Yeah, you got a driver who can wheel it. I mean,
Yeah.
Suarez isn't a slouch.
No, Suarez isn't a bad driver at all.
You're not throwing a Paul Menard in a third RCR car anymore. You got
Right.
some halfway decent driver here with Suarez. So
Yep.
I like that.
So good deal.
Yep.
Any news I missed? You mentioned Haley Deegan. She'll be full time in the Truck Series next year.
I was checking the tweeters, but I think we're good, buddy.
Okay. With that, we go to Texas Motor Speedway this weekend. It is the Auto Trader Eco Park Automotive 500. Coming off of last week on our picks, I picked Kevin Harvick and over James's Denny Hamlin. I got 1 point there, but James got me on the non-playoff driver with Eric Jones over Tyler Reddick. So we are even out of that one. 43-34, I lead James after 33 races.
It's gonna take a miracle. But I'm not done yet.
There you go. Well, you get the first pick for playoff driver, James. So who you picking?
I will take Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick, okay.
So you can just copy and paste that one.
Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna go Chase Elliott. I don't really have any reason to go Chase Elliott.
Other than you've got points to play with at this
Yeah,
point?
pretty much.
Okay.
I don't want to go Denny Hamlin. I'm going Chase Elliott, even though I can't.
Yeah,
type
yeah. I'm
here.
playing the catch-up game. But I think I had you're gonna pick dark horse or non-playoff driver first, but I think I got one. If you don't take it, I think I got one that you might like.
All right, I am going to go with. Let me see here. I had it figured out here, but let me just make sure that I'm in the right spot. Actually, that wasn't who I was going to pick for my playoff driver. Actually, I was going to pick Logano, but oh well. I am going to go with the guy who led 150 laps here last time we were here, and I'm going to go Ryan Blaney.
That's a good one. I'm going to go a little bit on a limb here. I'll take Tyler Reddick.
That's a really good one. Actually, Tyler was so
really good here in the spring.
Yeah,
remember?
I was looking at Austin Dillon because Austin Dillon won here, but Tyler Reddick really was the one. I think he was the RCR pick. But Dillon ended up getting the win with the fuel mileage thing at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, Reddick's a great pick. That's a really good pick.
Yeah,
Reddick's a good pick. Dillon's a good pick. So
Jones would have been a good pick.
I think there's better non-playoff picks this week than there are playoff.
Oh
picks.
Yeah, our playoff drivers are pretty thin.
I meant to pick Logano, so we'll see if Logano wins now. I was going to pick Logano.
Yeah.
So, fantasy league, James. Go ahead. You got something else?
I was gonna say we should think of something for the championship. I don't know what we're gonna do there, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we have I think every year don't we pick a winner and a championship winner, and it's always the guy who wins the title wins the race anyway.
Yeah, I think so. This year might be the first year that doesn't happen.
It could. There's a possibility for it, right? Any year there's a possibility, but usually the non-championship drivers give them a lot of room. So.
Yeah, and I think the guys that are racing for the title just amplify what they're doing a little bit more.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
So.
So fantasy league, bud.
Yeah, tell me how fantasy league went, James.
You did good. I got bit by the Kurt Busch bug. Sounds like our buddy Todd did as well. But that's 2 and 3. I finished third. Todd was second. Eric, 2 weeks in a row with 224 points, leaving no doubt. Our buddy Barron Speedway was fourth. Ranger running fifth. So that leaves us in an interesting spot. The playoff standings. I'm still in the lead, but Eric, look at that. Me and you are in the top of something.
I know, right?
So crazy. Listen, our goal, I'm going to say it out loud on the podcast with 3 races to go. Between the two of us, we got to beat Todd in the playoffs. I don't care who it is. One of us has to do it.
I agree.
Overall, though, it's still Todd's show. He's got almost 150 point lead over Ranger. It looks like that might be coming to a close. I am third, 200 points back of Todd. That just not going to happen. So it's basically a 2-horse race, but Todd's way out front.
There you go.
So there's your fantasy update.
All right. James, you got a shout out this week, I know.
Yeah, so we brought a story up a couple weeks ago on the pod about Lefty, Noah Sweet. He had created a paint scheme, went viral, got some really negative comments about it, and just had some hard times with it, and came back and Eric, we saw another couple weeks ago that Jimmy Johnson and the Ally team had gotten a hold of Noah. Didn't know what that meeting was about, but maybe we had a good idea.
Right.
So Texas this weekend, if you haven't seen the car, Noah got to live his dream and design a race car for his hero, his favorite driver. Jimmy Johnson will run that scheme on Sunday.
That's awesome.
It's a wicked, I mean, not just saying this because we like this kid and we like his story, but that's a good looking race car,
yeah, it's
right?
a really good looking race car.
Yeah, he's got a future if he wants to design race cars. I mean, that's he can design. It's good. It's a really good piece.
Yep, it's pretty neat.
So cool story. Really, I don't know. Shout out to Ally and Jimmy Johnson for making it happen, letting him do this. Really cool.
Yep, very cool.
One of Jimmy's last races. He gets to.
Awesome.
It's so cool.
Very cool. My shout out this week, I just, with COVID going on, a lot of fans not being able to be at the track, a lot of tracks have done something pretty neat this year, and we haven't talked about it. Most of them are releasing their programs that you would normally pay, $10 to $20 for at the track. They're releasing the PDFs of them online for free. Texas Motor Speedway has their digital program online that you can download and check it out. They've said they have a 7-page section on Jimmy Johnson in there. So, the link is in the show notes if you want to check it out at thesuperspeedway.com. You can click on the show notes and find the link to download that. But a lot of tracks have been doing it. I'm sure if you search around, you can find them if you want to check them out, or the last couple races. If you're not able to be there in person and give them your money, you can get it for free online. So it's a pretty cool deal. I'd love to see them keep doing that type of stuff. I think there's a lot of interactive things and things like that some of these sports have done this year because of COVID. They've done it out of necessity, but I hope we see some of that stuff continue going forward. I want to say NASCAR has done a great job with their virtual media center this year. For media members, I hope they continue that because, there's a select handful of us that actually get to the track every week. Most of us don't. So it's pretty cool to be able to have that, full on access. I mean, I'd much rather interview drivers in person than over Zoom. Hopefully that is over with, at least by midpoint next season. But it's pretty cool, the stuff that we have available to us thanks to technology during the whole COVID thing. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really cool too, Eric, that NASCAR is going to be the first sport to complete its entire season.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a wonky entire season, but they're full schedule. I mean, there's so many things that could have went wrong. And
careful, man. There's 3 weeks left.
I know, but
we thought we were racing in Atlanta on Friday, and
yeah, I know, but yeah, it's still very cool. I mean, all these, it's a forever changed. This year's forever changed NASCAR.
Oh yeah.
So and just to see the flexibility that NASCAR showed, and all these other things, the tracks and everybody. I mean, it's an incredible story. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very neat. Yep.
All right. With that, James, where can people find you on social media if they want to chat with you during the week?
At James Cush on Twitter.
You can find me at T Super Speedway on Twitter. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/The Super Speedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can find the podcast on there, links to old episodes, show notes, like I said, links to the articles that we discussed in the episode and all past episodes. All that's available there, thesuperspeedway.com. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and SoundCloud, wherever you found us today. We hope you subscribe and continue to listen. And if you want to help us out, become a part of the show and help us get to the track when we're allowed to go back, you can do that at patreon.com/thesuperspeedway. We're back in action this weekend. 3 to go to finish out the season. We're at Texas Motor Speedway, the Auto Trader Eco Park Automotive 500, Xfinity, and trucks in action this weekend as well. We'll be back next week to discuss it all. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.